Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Underground podcast. This week, we'll be talking about an upcoming indie game called Farm Folks. All right, and we are recording for this week's episode of the Pixel Underground podcast, talking about Farm Folks. It's an indie game. It's our first indie game that we've covered on this podcast, and it's one that I'm very excited for. It's still a ways out. We don't have a release date yet, and I believe they are pre-alpha, but I do like to check in with them pretty often. They're very active on Twitter. I watch whenever they put up devlogs and stuff like that. I always watch those. So I just wanted to kind of talk about them a little bit.
Who's the dev? Who's behind it?
It's the indie devs. I gotta look it up now because it's published by Crytivo.
Okay. I thought it sounded familiar. I follow Cryptivo quite a bit because they have the prehistoric kingdom I really want to get, and they essentially prehistoric kingdom is the dinosaur zoo type of deal. And they actually take a lot of systems that Planet Zoo has, and they just improve them so much. And so yeah, I've heard of Cryptivo before.
Right.
And when you said that, I'm like, I thought they were behind it, but I didn't know for sure.
Yeah. So they're actually they're the devs and the publishers. My bad.
Okay.
But yeah.
now I'm curious. Let's see it.
All right. Hitting play.
Farm Folks I've covered here on the channel, or anything you've heard about the game from more than a few months ago, because that Farm Folks is sadly dead. But the Farm Folks we're about to discuss is very, very much alive.
This is so my time in Porsche.
Farm Folks is an open world 3D farm sim that I've covered on the channel a lot. In fact, this is my 31st video on it, and it was also my first game doing news-like coverage for, and one of the main reasons my channel is what it is today.
I kind of liked the old style better.
Place in my heart. This game has come a long way since
because you're a pixel person.
True.
Along the way,
but this gives me so much. Okay, my thing paused again. What now? But this really gives me My Time in Porsche kind of vibes.
Yeah, like the animation.
Everything, like the camera angle, the animation, the whole art style. They were not behind my time on Porsche, were they?
No.
That's
who was
what
that?
it reminds me of.
No, let me look that up because I don't remember who was behind My Time at Porsche, but I know it wasn't them. No, that was Pathia Games and published by Team 17.
Okay, because this looks a lot like that game. I actually played it a little bit, but then I got so bored with it. I don't know. Like, does My Time at Porsche have like multiplayer or something? Because alone, I was really bored with it.
Yeah, so this is going to be a very different game than that. I know a lot of it looks the same, but it'll play totally different. This is going to be more like, it'll be more like Stardew Valley or Harvest Moon, but more freedom. It's going to have free build and stuff like that. So you don't just have
I never played Stardew Valley. I saw somebody play it, but I never played it myself.
Ooh, okay. Do you play any like farm life sims?
Not really. Like, the only simulators I've played are more like traditional colony sims type of deal, other than The Sims, but not like farm. And then I started playing My Time in Porsche, and ironically actually looked at, because I got it for free from Epic, and I actually looked at it the other day, and I'm like, maybe I should reinstall it and give it another try, because last time I got insanely bored with it.
Yeah, I think
so, I don't know.
Yeah, I put a decent amount of time into it. I loved upgrading my workshop and stuff, but yeah, free build is something I'm always super interested in. That's one of the reasons I loved Valheim so much, is that I could just wander around and pick out a spot that looks idyllic and just build whatever I want. You know, I could build huge buildings. I could build little huts here and there, like, oh, this is gonna be my outpost or whatever. You know, I love free builds.
I'm surprised you don't play like Medieval Dynasty or something.
I have that game, and I played it for like 2 or 3 hours, and I just could not figure out. I don't remember what I think I was looking for deer or something. I don't remember what I was doing. There was something that I just couldn't find, and I got like kind of bored, kind of frustrated, and I just haven't been back. But I never refunded it or anything because I always planned on going back, and I just never have.
Okay. All right, let's try to watch this further.
All right.
Today, I want to take some time to highlight some of the progress that has been made on this new version of the game, as it is completely different than what Farm Folks used to be, but honestly, it's pretty damn exciting, and I can't tell you how good it feels to be excited about this game once again. First off, the art style is completely different, and while in my eyes there was nothing wrong with the old one, this new style is really nice. I mean, just look at this piglet. How can you disagree? Not that a piglet defines an art style, but if it did, we'd be in great hands. The change in style over time, though, is probably best represented by the female playable
Guys
character.
buying the game for a piglet.
Nothing was wrong with the old ones, in
Yeah.
my opinion, minus the cartoony, childish concept art one that they had for a little bit. But I definitely do like the new style.
I think that they had to
even though it's
redo
still
it,
a bit
otherwise
rough
they
around
would
the edges.
like the old
The
art,
animations
because
that go
otherwise it
along
would be
with
a
that new
lot
style,
like
however, are
My Time in
also still a
Portia.
bit rough around the edges,
Yeah,
and are
I
very
liked the
much
one
a
that was in
work
the middle.
progress, as
That
are
kinda
all
shaded cell
animations
look.
for that matter. So please don't judge them too harshly yet. The biggest change, however, has to be customization, because holy crap, does this game have a lot of customization options. Hair color? Check. Backpacks? Check. 1,000 times over? Check. From standard leather ones to burgers to unicorns, sharks, zebras, and beyond? Does it have outfits galore? Also
Jesus
check.
Christ.
I mean, I know this is just
Burger
concept art, but
backpack.
there's some
Yeah.
pretty good looking stuff here, if you ask me, with plenty more to come. Oh, and they even tweeted that you can also make yourself look like Jinx from League of Legends if you'd like. And don't even get me started on furniture. Not only can you change the color of pretty much everything, even using hex colors with savable color palettes for use later on, but patterns can also be changed, and there's a lot of them. The style of objects used can be modified, and wood trim color on objects made from wood can also be
Oh, I like
adjusted.
those little
Combine all of
lanterns.
this
That's so
together,
cute.
and you've got one heck of a robust customization experience.
Yeah, the customization is going to be a big deal for sure.
And that's not all either. Items can also be resized, turning a love seat into a sofa, for example, or stretching a table lamp, placing it on the floor to turn it into a floor lamp. I realize this has already been done in games like Paralives and that it's not unique to farm folks, but who cares?
Dude,
It's a good
resizing
system, and
furniture,
we're happy
I've
to see it.
never
Things like
imagined
planter boxes
that.
will also be modular. not only
They're
allowing you
big
to
on
choose
it.
their texture and height, but by combining multiple
I'm gonna pause
side by
here
side,
on
they
my
will merge
thing.
into one.
They are actually quite big on it, and I think they're drawing that from their success with the Prehistoric Kingdom on that, because a lot of people actually praised them, and a lot of people compared like Prehistoric Kingdom to Planet Zoo, because in Planet Zoo, if you want different like similar looking bushes, they're like 2, 3, whatever similar, like they're separate items.
Right.
While in Planet Zoo, in Prehistoric Kingdom, you just drag it and make like a little bush into the huge bush. So like they made this resize a big deal. So I think that's their main pull, because they got a lot of praise for it.
Okay, yeah, I think it's an amazing idea. I mean,
Yeah, I think so too. Instead of having like, I don't know, 12 different sizes or whatever, they can just, yeah, here you go. You can drag it and make whatever you want it to be
yeah, exactly.
with
All right.
minimum and maximum set, you know?
Right, yeah. All right, hitting play.
To create whatever shapes you desire. If hedge mazes aren't your style, perhaps planter box mazes will be more your speed. And speaking of maze, yes, you will be able to plant corn in those planter boxes, both inside and out, along with any other crop you can plant in your fields. There's also an immense amount of customization for things like staircases, beds, table decorations, of which, my goodness, there's a lot, lamps, pillows, lamps, chairs, lamps, tables, lamps, lamp shades.
So many lamps.
Did I mention lamps? Customization doesn't end with furniture, though. Oh no. Say hello to some Sims-like building, where you don't just get a prefab house, but instead get to build it yourself piece by piece. For those that dislike the idea of that, though, I'm fairly certain there will still be prefab options at your disposal.
Beyond excited for building a house.
Though,
oh my god, I'm going to build the coolest house ever.
I'm surprised you don't play like Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster. Shit, you can build in that.
In the gaps with actual doors and windows of your choosing, resulting in some pretty neat layout options. 1 story, 2, maybe even more, building on flat ground or on a steep hillside. All
like the art style of it,
and that's incredibly exciting to me.
Yeah, all the buildings and furniture and everything look amazing.
House exterior can look like. All of this is obviously still a major work in progress, but you've seen the level of customization for some furniture items, so I can only imagine what we'll have access to.
And I wish only that when you build, it would put you in that isometric view. I think it would be a lot easier.
Absolutely adorable.
Because this is something that I've struggled in like Fallout 4, and I had to get a mod for it, where they put you into like a flying mode.
Well, it's not alone.
For easy navigation.
Not only babies, but male and female adult variants, including some of the more obvious animals like chickens, all of which look incredibly shocked in this image for whatever reason. Cows, including not only dairy
real
cows,
chicken just look shocked, so it's nothing.
Cows, or bulls, I suppose.
Nothing outlandish.
Horses with embarrassment, intrigue, and attitude. We also have llamas with a bit of RBF, turkeys, of which the baby looks absolutely adorable, and sheep, presumably with the female pictured on top and the male with horns on the bottom. We've also seen some sketches of ducks, and I know there will be more farm animals added, but that's all we've seen so far, with the exception of some concept art of birds.
Oh, Angry Birds incoming.
Around the island,
yeah. Oh, hold on. Pause it real quick.
Some fish.
They actually yesterday and today they were yesterday in their Discord they put up some crocodile concept art for people to vote on. And then they took like the 2 winners from that and tweeted them out for people to vote on Twitter. So working on crocodile as we speak.
Why?
Huh?
It's not a farm animal.
Oh,
unless you live in Florida.
I don't know.
Live in Florida.
Yeah, maybe there's a well, Florida has alligators. So I don't know. Maybe there's just like maybe a section of the. I don't know if you're on an island. I think you're on an island or something, but I don't know. Maybe there's just some kind of swampy section with some crocodiles or something in it.
Okay.
All right, hitting play.
That will, of course, be able to catch. This is still a farm sim, though, after all, so we cannot forget about the farming component. When Farm Folks was first conceptualized and announced, complex farming mechanics were absolutely in the plans. Things like crop rotation, various fertilizers, hybrid crops, varied buffs given to nearby plants, encouraging you to kind of diversify your farm layouts, pests, and more. I'm happy to say that while many other things about Farm Folks have changed, this is one thing that has stayed the same. They've already confirmed that fertilizers, pesticides, and diseases will be present, and that crops will have a quality rating depending on how well they're taken care of. But they've also recently announced that there will also be a genetic system, allowing for varied generations of plants, crossbreeding, and more. For example, the eggplant, or aubergine, depending on where you live, on the left looks exactly like what you'd expect to see from an eggplant, but you can also get albino and pink variants as well, and I'm sure many others. And for tomatoes,
is that island near Chernobyl?
You can see for yourself. I don't even know what colors you would call these, but they look kind of cool. I don't know what other characteristics will be unique to these plants other than color, but they'll not only be worth more when sold, but you can also try for specific colors of plants by crossbreeding them, mixing, for example, a blue and red tomato to get a purple one. We're not done yet, though. The complexity continues. Take a look at these seed packets, for example.
Oh, the seed bags
All of
look
these
so
have
cool.
the game's logo in one corner, a non-functional QR code in another, and yes, I did pull out my phone to test them. They do not work. Some random gibberish in the bottom left, but in the bottom right, we have some interesting information, including temperature and moisture requirements.
Yeah, show me
Now,
a
the
tomato.
temperature
I'll
could
check
just
how
be an
real life it
arbitrary
is.
number, and the seeds will be specific to a season, like how most other farm sims handle it, but it could also be more complex than that, without defined seasons in which a particular crop can grow, but rather a temperature range that changes day by day that they need to be planted and harvested within. As for the moisture requirements, I assume this will indicate how often a crop will need water. Instead of watering your crops every single day, as is common in farm sims, they might need to be watered multiple times per day, or
Water
every
everything
third
in
day,
real
for
life
example.
every day.
If that sounds too
Yeah.
tedious for you,
Except
well,
today, so
I
I'm
would
assuming
agree.
my plants are going to
But
complain.
That is why there will be ways to automate the watering process. To start out, we'll have a backpack-mounted water supply, as if we're playing Super Mario Sunshine, but with crops, and an attached hose with which to spray our crops down with. Eventually, we'll be able to replace this with a more automated process. The details of that, though, have yet to be revealed. Automating the watering process, though, would free up more time to explore what is going to eventually be a beautiful island, surrounded by water and filled with plenty of places to explore and creatures to see, most of which will be fantasy in nature. They haven't even shown off the map yet, as what we've seen so far is what they refer to as their prototype island, where they've been testing everything and taking all these screenshots and videos. But the plant life and foliage, the trees, the wild animals, all of those are going to come together to make a gorgeous island. And if they don't, well, you can bet that those of us that have access to the alpha and beyond, myself included, will give our honest feedback about it. So, what's coming next? They're working on adding farm animals to the game, as well as kitchen furniture, which will support an entire cooking system, to include cooking food on various appliances, storing that food in refrigerated or unrefrigerated storage, when you're done, dishwashing, also the ability to serve dinner and feed others, food spoiling mechanics, and all of this will have an impact on the environment. I have no idea how that's going to work.
So it's
but
going to have a
I'm definitely
multiplayer
intrigued.
aspect to it.
And lastly, and I had no
perhaps.
idea we were this close to this, but they plan to open up a closed alpha playtest for their quote-unquote alpha backers sometime in March or April of this year.
Yeah, that was
is
for
very
Kickstarter.
close. As for who that includes, I have no idea with how confusing the past of Farm Folks has become, but as soon as I know more, I'll be sure to share. Farm Folks is still a long way from completion, but what's there now has me excited. Cautiously so, but excited nonetheless, and I hope you are too. Whether you're excited or not, though, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like, and if you're new here, consider subscribing
Here's
for
the
new
thought.
game
So
announcements
I
and
kind of like the
development
concept.
updates
I really
like
like the
this.
art,
My
which
name's
is
Dr.
rare.
B-Dub. Thank you all so much
Yeah.
for watching. and I hope you have a
I like the
wonderful-
idea and whatnot, but it's a little confusing because they say, "Oh, they're working on kitchen furniture, and you'll be able to serve dinner to others." Who are others? Are we having imaginary friends for dinner?
I believe it means the NPCs. I'm not 100% sure on that.
So if they had a multiplayer in this game for like whatever, random or otherwise, it would be nice, or like semi maybe. Would be nice if the online version like would have, say, a farmer's market where you could sell your crops. You know what I mean? Like if somebody doesn't get like have some kind of exchange maybe in between players, that would be cool. But
Right,
it looks pretty good. As I said, it gives me really strong vibes of the My Time and Portia. But I'm kind of curious, what's the end goal of it? Like, okay, you start your own farm, you go through, but then what? Is just an endless loop of having a farm?
Maybe. I'm not sure yet if there's going to be any kind of a story or objectives other than you start with nothing. Here you go, build, farm, make money, build your house,
Yeah, but do you turn it into some kind of, I don't know, like monopoly? Like you start your own, like, does this farm turn into an enterprise? Or how, like, I don't understand the end goal. I understand enjoying the process of having farm animals and what have you, but like I kind of try and figure out what's the end goal for it.
Well, some people just want to build, and that's what they want to do. They just want to, progress through, building up the property and becoming better at farming and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm not sure yet if there's any objective outside of that. And then, of course, there's also like the dating of the NPCs and things of that nature. So, like,
Dating NPCs?
Yeah. Oh, right. You don't play Farm Life Sims. So pretty much, this is pretty much standard now with Farm Life Sims, which I believe Harvest Moon started it way back in the day. Because there's like, I don't know, like 9 Harvest Moon games now. And I remember being in like middle school playing Harvest Moon on my GameCube and getting married to one of the little, rancher girls next door. And Stardew Valley is the same way. Pretty much any farm life sim you play nowadays, you have romance options for NPCs. Some games it's like a handful of NPCs that you can romance. Some games it's like any NPC, and you talk to them, you give them gifts, you build up your like friendship meter to the point where they're interested. Actually, my time at Porsche had that also. Pretty sure I was married on that game.
I never survived long enough in that game, so.
Yeah. So, and then, you go on dates and eventually you get married. Now, Stardew Valley, you can actually have a baby, which was interesting. It was funny because I remember my wife coming in and saying, "Oh, what are you playing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm playing Stardew Valley. Look, I just got married and had a baby." And she got kind of mad about it. She's
Why?
she's like, you're not gonna hang out with me. You're gonna hang out with your video game wife. Okay. I was like,
my husband kind of like, he doesn't get mad. He just uses it as a reason to tease me. So every time I go in like games like Dragon Age Inquisition or whatever, she's like, "Oh, you're going to your online husband?"
Right. Yeah.
So he just does it to tease me. He doesn't really he doesn't get upset.
Well, right.
But it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get mad when he's like, "This is your online husband," when he like points at Cullen on Dragon Age Inquisition or any other NPC, like, and I get mad. I'm like, "No, it's not." I don't know why, like, I get upset over it.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm just teasing you. So I kind of got curious at some point, speaking of Cryptivo as devs and whatnot, have you ever played Universum? Is
no.
that a good game? Like, I've watched somebody play it, but I couldn't wrap my head around it necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I never played that one.
So I'm like, I have no idea. But yeah, I think like I will keep an eye on this game, like this Farm Folks or whatever. They also have a Farmlanders prologue free to try, but I don't know what it is. But I think that Prehistoric Kingdom is gonna be like my main game to buy from them.
Right.
But I have other games ahead of it. I have Stray. I still wanna get Stray at some point. So I'll be late to the party with it.
Yeah, I would wait till that one goes on sale, just because everyone's saying it's only like 5 hours worth of stuff to do.
Yeah, I have someone at work who doesn't really play video games, but she doesn't even like cats, and she tried that game when I mentioned it, and she's like, "Oh my god, I fell in love with it. Now I want a cat." I said, "You said you didn't like cats." She's like, "Yes, but I played that game. Now I want one." I said, "Well, I have 2 at home, so." One of them was Stray, actually.
Yeah.
As a kitten, he was Stray, but yeah. So I have Stray, I have Hogwarts Legacy ahead of it, so I mean, maybe if it goes on like significant sale, I might pick it up. The prehistoric kingdom, that is. But yeah, nothing on sale right now, and I'm broke. There's that. The only thing is, like, I'm curious, like, if it goes on early access, I'm kind of like a little cautious with early access right now because a lot of games are in it and in that state, and not many of them seem to be coming out of it anytime soon. So
I
would
could go
love
on a
to
whole
see,
rant about early access. I
like,
hate early access.
because like Satisfactory, like it's sitting in my wish list, right? It
Mhm.
it was released back in 2020. Like it's 2021. Like over half of 2021 is gone. Like when are you going to release it? So like Baldur's Gate at least gave a idea. I think it's either coming out late this year or early next year, but they have like like a like a year to look out for. So,
Yeah.
and then they constantly update it because, like, I look at it like, I don't know, maybe every other month, and the art changes and says that, oh, they added a new class or they added a new race. So that at least they're doing something. While
Right.
other games, I like don't really see that. And Cryptivo seems to be in a lot of like involved in a lot of games and development. So like they're like batch releasing these games or batch developing them. So I don't know. And then besides that, like with Cryptivo, for example, I saw Prehistoric Kingdom in 2017, I think it was, in PAX South.
Right.
And I remember noticing it, and I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to take a picture. I took a picture of their booth, their logo, and whatnot, and actually tweeted it like a month ago or something. I'm like, oh, I found this picture. I found it at random. I'm like, well, talk about Throwback Thursday or whatever. And they actually reacted to it and whatnot. But like, I know that it takes them a while to release the game. And now, so that was in 2017. And they did not release it until April of this year.
Right.
And it's early access. So I'm trying to kind of gauge, like, if they release Farm Folks, how long it's gonna sit in early access, what have you, when it's gonna get released and whatnot. So I'm kind of a little cautious with early access games.
Yeah. Well, I don't know yet any kind of timeline on release or if there is going to be early access or anything like that. If I had to guess, I'd say we're probably somewhere between 1 and 2 years out. Just because they're just now, from what I understand, they're just now implementing like the actual crop system and stuff like that. So yeah, they've got a fair bit of work to do, but they have made a lot of progress, and they've got some really cool ideas. So I don't want to try to hype people up too much because it is going to be a long wait still, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, I would say.
Yeah, it looks interesting. I like the customization options. I definitely like the art styles of like things like lanterns and the wood textures. I would love to learn to draw that kind of style. I actually tried to, but I had a problem with the mask layers on my tablet.
Right.
And for my art, for the channel art, I switched an idea till I will make a first banner, which I need to actually sit down and work on it. And after I learn more and I'm more confident, I would like to learn to draw textures like wood and stone and what have you in that similar art style, because I kind of dig it.
Yeah, that would be cool.
So, and I like the little lanterns and lamps and furniture and lamps.
Yeah.
And more lamps.
Yeah, so many lamps.
They remind me of buying department at my work, because the buying department at my work, whoever orders stuff, and because I work as I unload the freight,
Right.
and you know, it's like the same items. I'm like, who works in there? Like, they're like, see this one item, they get obsessed and they have to buy like 20 of them, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do with it? Like, I don't have enough space on the shelves. So with these guys, like when he started talking about lamps, I'm like, oh boy, it's like going back to work again. So
yeah.
but yeah, I would like to see where it goes. So,
Yeah.
and I really hope that when they develop the game, they will actually take players' feedback into consideration. Because too many times I've participated with alpha and beta testing and closed and open, and there will be literally pages on the forums left for the devs to take into consideration valuable information, valuable feedback, just take it, implement it, and whatnot, but they just ignore it. So I'm really hoping that when these guys develop the game, they actually take whatever feedback players give them and and actually implement it. And if not, like, I wish devs would explain why not and offer the choices they want to go with and let people decide if that's something they want. I understand it's not exactly following the creative vision the devs have, but I kind of wish that kind of communication was between the devs and, like, you're asking these people to spend time and give you this feedback. By you not implementing it or even discussing it, it's like throwing it back in their face, like, you don't care.
Right.
So,
well,
and this is why.
Well, so far it seems like they are doing a good job of, if you're in their Discord, which I'll put the link to their Discord and the podcast episode's description. But they joined there. Yeah, they put up, things to vote on, and they've got, a section for suggestions and stuff like that. So they seem very active with their community, and they seem very communicative with, what people want. Would you rather have this or that, option A or option B? And like the crocodile that I was talking about earlier, they had people voting on it. They had a lot of different concept art. I don't remember exactly how many different styles of crocodile. And I voted on like 4 of them that I thought were cool. And then I saw them post on Twitter today. They had 2 options.
I'm in Prehistoric Kingdom, but I don't think I'm in the actual. The developers are there, but the devs on the Prehistoric Kingdom are not Cryptivo. They're different.
Okay. Yeah. So I think it's.
So I might join the actual Cryptivo server.
Yeah, well, and Farm Folks actually have their own server, because I'm in the Crytivo server and the Farm Folks server.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull it up a little bit up top, because those guys just get lost.
Yeah, so
well, no, I have so many servers, and I just have to, section them and whatnot. But certain ones, I don't play Skyrim right now, so I can just move it down.
Right. Yeah, I do the same thing, try to organize them. So Farm Folks does have their own YouTube channel, and they've got a fair number of videos, but most of them are shorts. I mean, they're, less than 30 seconds, the vast majority of them. It looks like they've got 59 videos, and they've got a few that are like 1 minute, or like minute and a half, and they've got one 25-minute video. Looks like they're talking about the environment lighting and stuff like that. So I don't know if you wanted to go through any of these, or if I should just record them for B-roll for when we're paused and talking.
You can just do a B-roll, and I'll just watch it when I watch the podcast itself.
Okay. Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a shorter
even though I hate listening to myself talk, but okay.
Yeah, well, me too, but so I'm always messing with VSTs and stuff, trying to make my voice sound just a little bit less annoying.
You have a nice sounding voice, unlike me. I sound like I sound like I swallowed a toad and it's stuck somewhere.
No, come on. On the way. No, you don't. Come on. It sounds good. No, I think
my husband knows I hate it, and he will watch my videos when I'm in the earshot of it.
That's great. So I guess we're pretty much ready to wrap this up.
Yeah.
So that's Farm Folks.
I want that burger backpack. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh my god, the backpacks look so
I love the backpack.
Good.
I like the good burger. It's like, it reminds me of stuff you can see in stores and whatnot, like an actual thing. I will not wear it myself, like in real life, But I like that burger backpack. I think it looks cute.
Yeah, I love the backpacks. I love some of the clothing and stuff. I love the furniture and the houses, like the ways that you can build the houses and stuff. Everything looks so good. So yeah, I'm very excited.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm surprised you don't play Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster, because a lot of people don't play those games for the value of having a zoo or having a freaking the park, amusement park. They just use it for the building aspect of it, and people create amazing stuff in it. So I'm kind of surprised you don't play those games.
I might have to try it out sometime while I'm waiting on Farm Folks.
So, you know. But yeah, the building and Planet Zoo keeps getting updated. I don't know how much building does Cryptivo's a Prehistoric Kingdom offer. I know you can build custom stuff and have what do you call it, prefabs. Right. So same like this game is offering. I don't know how much they have for customization and shit. Yeah, would be nice to see. I haven't bought it yet because it's just when it released and I watched someone play it and they mentioned that it's extremely buggy. So that's why I'm kind of waiting it out.
Yeah, sometimes better to wait a while, let them work out the kinks, you know.
So, but I do like what I see. As the only thing, as I mentioned, I wish they would use isometric view in build mode, quote unquote. Right, yeah. Because it would be just a lot easier to position things and stuff like that. Because as I said, in Fallout 4, it was a headache because they didn't have that isometric fly mode. Mm-hmm. So when you place a piece of furniture or whatever, it's hard to see how close you are. So you kind of end up moving stuff multiple times because it's just hard to see. So.
Right. Well, Valheim was the same way. And what I would do when I was building something really large is I would build platforms for myself and I would go up onto the platforms and it would just be something very simple of like stairs going up, you know, with some supports.
That's a hassle. That's the thing. Like I
feel like if, but I mean, I just got
you can go on their Discord and leave them the feedback. Hey, add some isometric view to the build mode.
Yeah, or just like a free floating build mode. Well, yeah,
or fly mode of some kind where you can just look at the stuff from different angles and whatnot. I mean, first of all, it will have people appreciate the art from like all around from 360 degrees instead of just, you know, I mean, I don't know. Plus it's easier in fly mode to kind of plan out the building like plan or whatever architectural layout. The layout, it's gonna be just easier than you know, I don't know. That's just my point of view.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
So, all right. Well, I have nothing else to add, so it's just sharing my impression on what I saw.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and wrap up the recording, and that is Farm Folks. Thanks for listening, everyone. And if you like this kind of content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And we will be coming out with a new episode of the podcast every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. Hope to see you around.